Yeah.
Because they say it's a takeoff of like Jello 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
I've never had.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, what?
does Jello 1, 2, 3 really exist?
Yeah.
I should have Googled that to see if that was true.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible
I
it
can
didn't.
Google it.
Jello 1, 2, 3 might be the Shazam of desserts.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny because I'm like, that was a movie.
Well, so yeah, at this point, he passes off the box to her, and she searches his prints but can't find anything in the system. And so Mulder and Scully have this conversation about the Mandela effect, which is essentially a collective misremembering of events. So named because of this shared false memory of Nelson Mandela apparently dying in prison in the 80s, when in fact he lived until 2013.
What's interesting is this year we've had I, Tonya come out, and that is something that most people misremember, egregiously often in cases. I mean, to the point where, so many people thought she did it. I mean, it continued to ruin her career when, for all intents and purposes, whether you've seen the movie or know the story or not, she really did not. A lot of people believe she actually physically hit Nancy Kerrigan, which was never true. And most people didn't realize it was somebody else, like, that did the whole act. So that's why I find it interesting that they didn't go the Harding,
Yeah, I thought it was a really weird, I thought that was a great movie. I thought it was a weird call to put her in the whole Harley costume at the end and have her swing the bat multiple times. Like, if you hit somebody that many times, she'd be dead. And that didn't happen.
Yeah, and apparently Jello 1, 2, 3 was a thing.
Yeah, it went from 69 to 96.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Jello 1... oh, look, there's a picture. Steve, have you ever had Jello 1, 2, 3?
Nope.
Me neither. Did you even know Jello 1, 2, 3 was a thing?
Kind of have... it's like, I kind of remember as if I did, but I wasn't around back then, so it's kind of weird,
When it was properly prepared, it solidified into 3 distinct layers: a creamy top, a mousse-like middle, and a regular Jello bottom.
All right, so essentially, Goopo is the same thing. Much like there is a Kazam.
Yeah,
I think
there is. Oh,
I think I've seen it, but now I don't know what I can be sure of.
Yeah, there is a Kazam and there is a Shazam.
I don't
Those
believe there's
movies.
half of this. I think might be true. I do not believe there is a Shazam. The one with Sinbad. I do not believe actually happened.
I swear it did. I'm going to prove it.
If Sinbad shot a trailer on his iPhone and uploaded it himself, that doesn't
because I
count.
remember Sinbad being in a movie that was similar to that. I'm like, oh.
And Frank's just like watching you search now.
This is great.
Was like, because I'm like, and then it'll prove that really is a thing.
Well, while you're searching for that, Frank, you and me,
Yes.
we're gonna forge forward.
Look at my ass legs.
I'm looking at them.
There you go.
Were they always there?
No, they weren't there.
No?
No.
I believe you.
Oh, thank you.
So per their discussion of the Mandela effect, both Mulder and Scully meet with... No?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't exist.
And I could have swore that there was a Sinbad movie where he was a stupid genie.
You're thinking of the one where Shaquille O'Neal is a stupid genie. That's the one he makes it rain the Happy Meals or something like that?
Yeah,
there you
it's
go.
so weird.
Lucretia
And
just had the Mandela effect.
he turns the dude into a basketball and dunks him because he's magic,
And
but
he's
he's also Shaq. Yeah. Oh, look, there's at least a poster.
That. Yeah.
Although now, and maybe this is the point,
1996, by the way.
the same year that Jello 1, 2, 3
was
discontinued. Coded messages?
That's right. Yep.
Sinbad was in Good Burger.
He was in Good Burger.
Yeah.
And in Kazam, good burgers rained from the sky.
So these are related. Yeah.
You're talking McDonald's Happy Meal burgers, considered good burgers?
That kid seemed real happy.
Oh, yeah, so they're good burgers. All right.
So both Mulder and Scully now meet with Reggie in this parking garage, and they talk once again about the Mandela effect, and Mulder reiterates almost verbatim exactly what he said a scene or two prior, I suppose for the benefit of the audience, so we're all really clear on what the Mandela effect is going forward. Reggie corrects him, says it's the Mengele effect, based on, did I have this right? A shared belief that Joseph Mengele made it all the way to Ohio into the 80s or the right, and was apprehended there. Which
never happened.
No.
As far as we know. But what do you know, Frank? It's true, guys. Your minds have been erased.
Shazam has been erased.
So Reggie, in this bid to convince Mulder and Scully of the veracity of his story, tells them about the day he became aware that something was very wrong in his relationship to his reality, and he was looking for books by an author named Dr. Wuzzle, presumably a not-so-subtle nod to Dr. Seuss.
They wanted it to be Dr. Seuss, but they couldn't get the rights cleared.
But was this spelling of Dr. Seuss ever widely disputed? I know the Berenstein versus Berenstain Bears was a thing.
So it was, but he felt, Darren Morgan felt that reference might be too old for people.
I see.
Dr. Seuss might be more a universal appeal, so everybody to understand that. But then he would just change the S's to Z's in this case.
Okay, got it. So, Dr. Wuzzle, spelling different, confused. He talks to the shop owner, and the shop owner says he's looking for more of these books. Shop owner says, well, that's something that people might actually want, so we don't have any of those, but you might be interested in something in what he calls the political shame section.
Yeah.
And now, I know Dr. Seuss did for a time, well before his rise in the Cat in the Hat universe. He did do a number of political cartoons at a certain point.
He did.
So we're still piggybacking off of the real man's mythology.
Isn't it fun how everyone just creates their own reality now? That's what I thought was interesting about this episode, is because I know plenty of people that they don't live in my reality.
But isn't that's the part of this episode that I think made it work for me beyond something very... It would have been fun regardless, and I'm very curious to see how the very specific relevance to things happening right now age. But that, in large part, is what grabbed me a lot harder than I think this episode would have otherwise.
I mean, it's interesting if somebody refutes what you say that, seems to be the truth or is the truth, and they say, no, that's fake. To them, they've created a reality where, no, that does not exist. And so as time goes on, those become two dueling perspectives on an incident, and who knows how history looks back on that.
Well, because we have a term now that I hear a lot that is your truth, not the truth, and it's a little disturbing to me, because it's like
the truth is the truth. There is absolutely such a thing as an objective truth, and that's what the truth is, whether or not we are in possession of that truth. The notion that truth is now completely it's just amorphous. It's not solid. It could be whatever anybody wants it to be in any given moment is genuinely chilling to me.
Yeah, and that's why I like this episode, is because it really was relevant. And actually, I was interviewed for the scientificparent.org a few weeks ago for the Scully effect on, my thoughts on X-Files and more about, Scully's revelation about William. But we did discuss how, the truth and your truth towards the end of the interview. So it's interesting how this then came up in the show.
Right. There is just the truth. However, we live in an age now where this unprecedented access and dissemination of information that we find in front of us has also led to a massive flood of intentional disinformation. And of course, that only exacerbates the problem of being able to figure out what the truth is. Lucretia.
Yeah, because that is the thing, is where do you go from there when we pretty well live in a conspiracy? I mean, yeah, like, we are not even sure what's real anymore, because we're the media, and, just so many different news outlets are reporting the same thing, saying different results. I mean, it's literally insanity.
Yikes. Yeah. So all right, but we have to light a candle and not curse the darkness, and that is exactly what Dana Scully does. Dana Scully does her homework like she does. She applies her Google brain to the research, parses the facts, and discovers that, yikes.
Well, my mother did work for the U.S. Attorney's Office, and yeah, they really are listening to us. I mean, I don't think people realize, especially after 9/11 and the Patriot Act and all that got way worse.
Oh no, like I don't want to sound like tinfoil Hattie, but you notice, like, if you have a smartphone, you notice how you'll be, first of all, if you have an iPhone, you can, with your voice, call up Siri whenever you want to. So it's always listening to you. But also, you notice when you're talking about something, you have a conversation about some product, some company, whatever, occasionally the personalized ads you start seeing in your social media feeds will match things that you have been talking about and not searching for?
Oh, yeah. When I used to be a helpful Honda person and would bitch about it to people on the phone about how terrible it was, there would be helpful Honda ads, not just on my phone and everything, but on Hulu as well. Even Hulu is listening to me, but it usually...
Did you know technology
Oh, whoa.
can be bad? Frank, did you know? What do you know, Frank?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Judy Mulder brings up a good point in the chat. Fake news is the equivalent to those immortal words by Deep Throat. The best place to hide a truth is between two lies.
Yes, absolutely. Yikes, guys. Everything is scary right now. So, this is back in the direction of not being sure which version of reality we're operating in. And Mulder and Scully sit in front of a nicely molded Bigfoot-shaped Goopo ABC. It doesn't look very good, but Scully seems super excited, like almost giddy to take a bite, and she stops herself. And she says to Mulder, I want to remember how it was. Takes a pause, and she says, I want to remember how it all was.